Södertälje is a city of 80,000 people, located 40 kilometers from the capital of Sweden, Stockholm. And for over 100 years it has been the headquarters and main production facilities of the automotive company Scania, which is currently the largest truck manufacturer in Sweden and the leading automotive company in the world. The history of Scania begins in 1901, when in the Swedish city of Malmö, through the reorganization of the British company Humber, which was engaged in the production of bicycles, the company Maskinfabriks Aktiebolaget Scania was founded, a machine-building factory in Skåne. In the same year, the first prototype of a passenger car called Scania A1 was built, which was equipped with a single-cylinder water-cooled engine from the French company French Aster. Later, 3 more prototypes of passenger cars were built, and the following year, 1902, the serial production of these cars under the name Scania A will begin, which will be equipped with a 2-cylinder, 8-horsepower internal combustion engine from the Berlin company Camper. In parallel with the serial launch of passenger cars, the company in Malmö will develop its first truck with a 12-horsepower engine and a carrying capacity of 1.5 tons. Since 1905, Scania began to produce its own engines. They were quite advanced, had 4 cylinders, overhead valves, pressed-in liners and magneto-ignition. The power of these engines was 12 horsepower. Since 1908, Scania has been offering models with a power of 12 to 36 horsepower, Scania C and Scania G. In 1909, production of new trucks begins on the Scania G chassis. Another company that would later become part of Scania and lay the foundations for future success would be the wagon-building company Vagnsfabriks Aktiebolaget, founded in 1891 as a subsidiary of the Swedish steel company Surahammars Bruks. However, very soon the domestic market in Sweden would be oversaturated with wagon products, and the owner, Peter Peterson, would have to look for additional activities. They would stop at the production of horse-drawn transport. And already in 1897, the company's engineer, Gustav Ericsson, built the Vabis 6 HKR, which would become the first passenger car not only in the history of Vabis, but also in the history of Sweden. It was a 4-cylinder, 6-horsepower car with a wooden body, a tiller instead of a steering wheel, and a glow tube in the ignition system. Running on kerosene and having significant structural flaws, the car would have low reliability. Therefore, the next year, Ericsson built a new car, the Vabis 10 NKR, which would be equipped with a 2-cylinder, 4-stroke gasoline engine with a volume of 2.7 liters and a capacity of 10 horsepower. In 1902, the first Vabis truck with a 12-horsepower engine, a 2-speed gearbox, and a carrying capacity of 1.5 tons will also be built. In 1909, the company will build a new 3-ton truck, which will win a test race organized by the Royal Automobile Club of Sweden. However, after the death of the company's manager Peter Peterson in 1908, Vabis will plunge into crisis. In 1909, only 5 trucks and 7 cars will be sold. The new management decides to put the company up for sale. To the rescue of the Vabis enterprise, which has gained considerable experience in mechanical engineering, came the car manufacturers from Malmö, who will need to expand their production areas. In November 1910, both car companies sign a merger agreement. In March 1911, a new company, Scania-Vabis, appears. The production of cars and engines will be concentrated in Södertälje at the Vabis production areas. Instead, trucks will be produced in Malmö. The production of bicycles and motorcycles is discontinued. Since 1912, the merged company begins production of a single passenger car model of the executive class. This will be the Scania-Vabis 3s. The car was equipped with a 4-cylinder Vabis engine with a volume of 4.4 liters and a capacity of 36 horsepower, a 4-speed gearbox. This model in the body of a limousine was in the fleet of the Swedish Prince Gustav. As for trucks, since 1911, the company has been producing ALA trucks with a carrying capacity of 500 kilograms. Since 1916, Scania has been focusing on the production of trucks and engines, including aircraft engines. However, after the end of the First World War, demand for freight transport fell significantly. The company gradually plunged into crisis. Workers' strikes and order disruptions began. In November 1921, the bankrupt company was bought by the Wallenbergs, a family of famous Swedish bankers. The new owners updated the production program. New trucks and postal buses with a caterpillar drive and steering front skis appeared. Passenger cars became a secondary product. As a result of production cuts, the Malmö plant was closed in 1927, and in 1929, Scania-Vabis builds its last passenger car, Model 2122, with a 2.3-liter engine and a power of 35 horsepower. From that moment on, the company focuses entirely on the production of trucks, buses, and military products. Since 1925, new trucks have been produced. Scania-Vabis 314 and 324, with a 4-cylinder engine of 3.5 liters and a power of 36 horsepower. And models 3251 and 3256, with a 4.3-liter engine with a power of 50 horsepower. The production of Model 3243, equipped with a 6-cylinder engine of 5.7 liters, will also be established. In 1928, they will be joined by the Scania-Vabis 3244 truck with a new 6-cylinder engine, the power of which will increase to 75 horsepower. The dashboard of this car will feature a speedometer, odometer, oil temperature gauge, ammeter, and clock, which were rare at that time. In 1936, a 7.7-liter diesel engine with a capacity of 120 horsepower will be installed on the 345 series truck for the first time. With the beginning of World War II, the company actively builds armored vehicles. From 1941 to 1943, 220 STR-VM/41 light tanks will be built, which were licensed copies of the famous Czech LT VZ-38 tank. The tank will have a mass of 10 tons and will be armed with a 37mm gun. On the basis of these tanks, 36 SAVM/43 self-propelled artillery installations with a 105mm gun will be built from 1944 to 1947. 1943 to 1947, the company will build 262 SKP meters per 42 armored personnel carriers. The armored personnel carrier was built on the all-wheel drive chassis of a 3-ton Scania F11 truck. The armored personnel carrier will have a combat weight of 9.5 tons, a crew of 2 people, a landing compartment for 16 fighters, and will be armed with 2 8mm machine guns. As for civilian products, in 1944, Scania-Vabis built the L10 truck, which would become the first post-war model and launch a whole series. The L10 had a total weight of 7.5 tons and was equipped with a 4-cylinder front-chamber diesel engine with a volume of 5.6 liters and a capacity of 90 horsepower. In 1949, the L40 model was released with a diesel engine with direct fuel injection. In the early 50s, the production of the 135-strong L60 truck with a carrying capacity of 5.5 tons began. Later, a 3-axle version of this model with a total weight of 15.5 tons and a wheel formula of 6x2 will be released. In the spring of 1953, the first Scania truck with its own name will be built. It will be the L51 Trabant with a 100-horsepower diesel engine and a 5-speed gearbox. Later, there will be more powerful L61, L64. In 1955, Scania will release an even more powerful Scania-Vabis L71 Regent truck, equipped with a 6-cylinder diesel engine with a volume of 9.3 liters and a capacity of 150 horsepower. Since the 50s, the company has been developing rapidly. Production is increasing. New factories are opening abroad. In 1953, in Brazil, after the introduction of restrictions on the length of vehicles in Western Europe, Scania begins production of hoodless trucks, which will be in the L76 series. They will be equipped with spring-suspended seats, power steering. The engines installed on trucks in the mid-60s reach a power of 260 horsepower. Based on the L75, L76, of which 38,600 were built, more advanced trucks L110 and L111 are produced. In parallel with civilian trucks, Scania masters the production of military vehicles, in particular, the all-wheel drive truck with a wheel formula 6x6 Scania LA86, with a gross weight of 16 tons and a carrying capacity of 6 tons. This vehicle will replenish the fleet of the Swedish Army. Since 1960, and will receive the nickname Anteater. Since 1969, Scania-Vabis is absorbed by the Swedish engineering giant Saab. From that time on, the mention of the Vabis company disappears in new cars, and only Scania remains in the name. In the 70s, the company produces a new hoodless Series 140. These trucks will be equipped with a hydraulic mechanism for tilting the cab. Later, the Scania L111 series will be released, which will consist of unified hooded and hoodless trucks with a wheel formula of 4x2, 6x2, and 6x4. The total weight of these cars will vary from 16.5 to 30 tons. The trucks are equipped with 6-cylinder D11 diesel engines with a capacity of 220 horsepower. The turbocharged version of this engine reaches a capacity of 296 horsepower. Along with the civilian ones, the production of military versions of these vehicles will continue. The all-wheel drive 2-axle Scania SBA 111 and the all-wheel drive 3-axle Scania SBA T111. The carrying capacity of these vehicles is from 4.5 to 6 tons, equipped with engines with a capacity of from 220 to 300 horsepower. They will also be equipped with a 6-speed automatic transmission. In 1976, Scania opens one of its largest foreign branches in Argentina. Annual production in 1976 to 1979 increases from 15 to 22,000 trucks. With the beginning of the 80s, 3 new series will be released: 82HA, 112HA, and 142HA. In connection with the transition to the modular principle of building cabins, new letter indices will appear in the model names: P for local transportation and R for highways. The chassis will also receive its letter index in the name: M, normal operating conditions; H, heavy; and E, especially heavy. One of the most powerful semi-trailer mainline tractors of that time is the Scania R142H model, with an engine with a capacity of 460 horsepower. In 1988, Scania builds the first V8 DSC-14 diesel engine in Europe with electronic fuel injection control. In the 90s, the following series will be released: 94, 114, 124, and 144 in 2, 3, and 4-axle versions. The cars will have 11 cabin options. The most comfortable of them is the top-line option with 2 sleeping places. When building these series, a number of technical innovations will be used: 12-speed and automatic transmissions, air suspension with frame level adjustment, ABS turbo compound diesel engines with 2 turbines, which will increase the efficiency of the engine by 46%. The company also begins mass production of safe modular cabins with different lengths, heights, and air suspension with 1 or 2 sleeping places. Twice, in 1989 and 1996, new Scania models received the Truck of the Year award. In 1995, Scania again becomes an independent enterprise, while over the past 3 years increasing production from 23 to 42,000 vehicles. In the 2000s, the average production level will be about 50,000 trucks per year. Despite the production and financial success, in August 1999, the Volvo concern became the owner of a 70% stake in the company. It seemed that a takeover of the company would take place very soon, which would turn Scania into a subsidiary of Volvo. But in the spring of 2000, the European Commission vetoed the merger agreement. In the spring of 2004, Scania launched the new R Series, which would be the successor to the 4th series. A feature of the new trucks is the high front cab. Trucks of this series will be built in the form of a tractor and chassis with different axle configurations and chassis and suspension heights, and will be used for long-distance transportation. This series is also the most powerful in the Scania truck line. The most powerful in the R series itself is the Scania R730 model, which is equipped with a V8 DC-16 turbo diesel engine with a volume of 16.4 and a capacity of 730 horsepower. In 2004 and 2009, trucks from the R series again bring the company the Truck of the Year award. In parallel with the R series, the P series with a low cab will be launched. Trucks of this series will be used for regional and local transportation, in construction, to perform various specialized tasks. Cars of this series are equipped with single cabs, spacious day and short cabs combined with a crew cab. In parallel, the launch of the T-Series, the hooded Scania, will take place. However, the production of hooded versions of trucks will be discontinued in the following year, 2005. In 2007, the G-Series with a medium cab will be introduced. It will become an intermediate version between the R and P series. It will be equipped with sleeping, day, and shortened cabs. In 2008, as a result of the world economic crisis, Volvo goes bankrupt. The German concern Volkswagen becomes the owner of a controlling stake in Scania in the amount of 70%. In August 2016, the production of the S-Series premium class trucks begins. They will be equipped with one of the highest cabs in the entire Scania line. They will also have a completely flat floor and a spacious sleeping place. Trying to keep up with competitors, Scania in December 2017 is launching a new L-Series of compact trucks designed for work in urban traffic. A feature of these cars is a low-slung and forward-shifted cabin, which greatly facilitates landing and provides excellent visibility, which is so necessary when working in the city. Also, the absence of an engine tunnel in the cabin allows the driver to enter and exit from both sides of the car more easily. The L-Series is equipped with engines with a capacity of 280 to 360 horsepower. For transporting goods in difficult road conditions, the company has developed the XT series with an iron bumper and a strong towing pin that can withstand a load of more than 40 tons. The bus era in the company's history began with the construction of buses for the Swedish Post Office. The most successful period will begin in the 50s with the Metropole C50 bus. Next will be the Capital C70. Next will be the CR and SK series. Later, there will be the low-floor City series, Max CI. Since 1996, the company will begin production of single-decker large-capacity buses, Scania OmniCity 12 meters long with a modular body design. The bus was specially designed for countries with left-hand traffic. In 2002, production of these buses is discontinued. The release of this series will be resumed in 2005, this time in the form of double-decker and sectional large-capacity buses. For intercity and suburban services, the company will develop the OmniLink and OmniLine series. In the tourist bus class, Scania will produce the Omni Express model since 2007, which will be replaced by the Scania Interlink model in 2017. Also, from 2009 to the present, Scania will produce its flagship tourist model, Scania Touring. In 2011, the Omni series will be replaced by the Citywide series, which will consist of two models. The Citywide LF, a completely low-floor bus designed for intensive urban transportation. It is available in two versions, a two-axle length from 10.9 to 12 meters and an articulated sectional, Citywide LFA, with a total length of 18 meters. In 2021, the newest series of buses from Scania, called Fencer, was launched. The buses will be manufactured in cooperation with the Chinese bus manufacturer, Higer. In the joint work, Scania will manufacture the chassis, and the Chinese side will be engaged in the production of bodies. The bus models of this series will be released in three classes. In addition to trucks and buses, the company's factories also produce marine and industrial engines, car engines, and bus chassis, which are supplied to third-party bus companies. Scania has established particularly close cooperation with the Spanish bus company Irizar. Having gone through more than a century of development, the small regional company Scania, which started with the production of bicycles and wagons, has turned into a leading global manufacturer of trucks and bus equipment. Scania now has 4 factories in Sweden itself and another 10 in Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, South Africa, Morocco, the Netherlands, France, Finland, and Poland. All these factories employ 57,000 employees, producing about 50,000 trucks and 5,000 buses annually.